Let me give you a number. 100. That is how many battles Khalid ibn al-Walid fought in his lifetime. Now let me give you another number. 0. That is how many of those battles he lost. 100 battles. 0 defeats. Against the greatest empires on earth, the Byzantine Romans, the Sassanid Persians, the armies of Arabia! He fought them all. He lost to none. But here's what almost nobody tells you. This man, this undefeated general, began his career as one of the most dangerous enemies Islam had ever faced. He was the man who nearly destroyed the Muslim army at the Battle of Uhud. He was the man the Prophet Muhammad himself had to overcome. This is the story of how Islam's greatest enemy became Islam's greatest sword! Around the year 505 AD, in the city of Mecca, a boy was born. His name was Khalid. His father, al-Walid ibn al-Mughira, was the most respected man in Mecca, a leader, a judge, a man of enormous wealth and authority. From the moment Khalid could walk, he was trained for one thing: war. The Banu Maksum clan, his clan, were known across Arabia for one thing above all others. They produced the finest horsemen and warriors on the peninsula. Khalid was their greatest student. He learned the sword, the spear, the bow, and the lance. He learned to ride at full gallop and strike with precision. He studied the tactics of Arabian warfare, how to read terrain, how to use cavalry, how to break an enemy line. By the time he was a young man, Khalid ibn al-Walid was already considered one of the most dangerous fighters in Arabia. When Prophet Muhammad began calling people to Islam, the Quraysh resisted. And Khalid's clan, the Banu Maksum, were among the most hostile opponents. Khalid did not embrace Islam. He stayed with his people. He fought for his tribe. And in 1605 AD, at the Battle of Uhud, he proved just how dangerous that decision made him. The Muslims had the upper hand at Uhud. They were winning. But a group of Muslim archers disobeyed orders and abandoned their posts to collect the spoils of battle. Khalid saw it immediately. He led his cavalry around the mountain, hit the unprotected Muslim flank from behind. The battle turned in an instant. The Muslim army was thrown into chaos. Dozens of companions were killed. The Prophet Muhammad himself was wounded. It was Khalid ibn al-Walid's tactical brilliance, used against Islam, that nearly broke the Muslim army that day. And yet, something was stirring inside him.
For years after Uhud, Khalid watched. He watched Islam grow. He watched men and women embrace this faith and transform completely. He fought in more battles against the Muslims. He was skilled, he was feared. But somewhere beneath the surface, doubt was building. His own brother, Al-Walid, had already converted to Islam. His friend, Amr ibn Alaz, was also asking the same questions. And then, one night, Khalid made a decision. In 629 AD, 4 years before the Prophet's death, Khalid ibn al-Walid rode to Medina. He rode to accept Islam. When he arrived, the Prophet Muhammad saw him coming and smiled. He said to those around him, "Mecca has thrown at us a piece of its liver." Khalid entered, greeted the Prophet, and took his Shahada. The man who had fought against Islam for years, who had wounded the Muslim army at Uhud, now stood as a brother in faith. And from that moment, the Prophet gave him a title that no one else in Islamic history has ever carried. Sayf Allah al-Maslul, the drawn sword of Allah, not a sword of a tribe, not a sword of an army, not a sword of a caliph. The sword of Allah! No companion of the Prophet, not Abu Bakr, not Umar, not Ali, was ever given this title. It was given to Khalid ibn al-Walid, and it would prove to be the most accurate description in the history of warfare.
Just weeks after his conversion, Khalid ibn al-Walid faced his first battle as a Muslim. And it was almost his last. The Battle of Mu'tah, 629 AD. A Muslim force of 3,000 men sent to confront the Byzantine Empire on the edge of their territory. What they found waiting for them: an army estimated at over 100,000 soldiers. The Muslim commanders fell one by one. Zayd ibn Haritha, killed! Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, killed, his body found with over 90 wounds, both arms cut off, still gripping the banner. Abdullah ibn Rawahin, killed! The Muslim army had lost 3 commanders in minutes. Panic was setting in. Then the soldiers passed the banner to Khalid ibn al-Walid. He'd been a Muslim for weeks. What Khalid did next would become one of the most studied tactical retreats in military history. He reorganized the Muslim army. He shuffled his flanks, moved troops from the rear to the front to confuse the Byzantines into thinking reinforcements had arrived. He created enough uncertainty in the Byzantine command that he was able to extract his army and withdraw with minimal further losses. The fighting was so intense that day. Khalid ibn al-Walid later said that he broke 9 swords in his hands during the battle. 9. Only a 10th sword made of Yemeni iron survived the day in his grip. The Prophet Muhammad in Medina, miles away, saw the events of the battle in a vision. He wept for those who fell. And then he said, Khalid is one of the swords of Allah. Allah has drawn him against the unbelievers.
After the Prophet's death in 632 AD, the Muslim world faced its first great crisis. Tribes across Arabia who had entered Islam began to apostatize. False prophets emerged. Chaos threatened to unravel everything. The first caliph, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, made one decision above all others. He deployed Khalid ibn al-Walid. What followed was a military campaign of breathtaking speed and precision. Khalid swept through Arabia battle after battle, campaign after campaign. He crushed the Ridda, the apostasy wars, and reunited Arabia under Islam within months. Then Abu Bakr sent him to Iraq to face the Sassanid Persian Empire. At that time, the most powerful empire on earth. The Sassanid Persian Empire had ruled for over 400 years. They had defeated Rome. They had conquered from Afghanistan to the Mediterranean. They were considered by the civilized world to be simply unbeatable. Khalid ibn al-Walid disagreed. He wrote a letter to the Persian commanders. Before battle, it read, "In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, submit to our authority, and we shall leave you and your land in peace, or suffer war at the hands of a people who love death as you love life." The Persians chose war. It was the last significant decision they would make as an empire. Khalid defeated the Persian forces in battle after battle across Iraq. The Battle of Walaja, the Battle of Alai, the Battle of Al-Hira. Each time outnumbered, each time victorious. But Khalid ibn al-Walid's greatest military achievement came not in Arabia, not in Persia, but in Syria. The Battle of Yarmouk, August 636 AD. The Byzantine Emperor Heraclius had assembled the largest Christian army ever seen. Historians estimate between 80,000 and 150,000 soldiers. They had come to push the Muslims back, to end the Islamic expansion once and for all. Khalid ibn al-Walid faced them with a force a fraction of that size. The battle lasted 6 days. On the 6th day, Khalid unleashed a cavalry assault that shattered the Byzantine lines. Nearly 50,000 Byzantine soldiers were killed or fled into the ravines of the Yarmouk Valley. Heraclius, the Byzantine emperor, retreated north to Antioch. He looked back one last time at Syria and said, "Farewell, O Syria. What an excellent country. This is for the enemy." Syria had fallen to Islam, and it has never returned to Byzantine rule since.
In 638 AD, at the absolute peak of his military career, Khalid ibn al-Walid received an order from the Caliph Umar ibn al-Khattab. He was dismissed. removed from command, replaced. Just like that. The greatest general in the history of Islam, undefeated across 100 battles, was told to step down. Why? Umar later explained it himself. I did not remove Khalid out of anger or suspicion of betrayal. But people had become too enamored with him. They were beginning to rely entirely on him. And I feared they would attribute their victories to Khalid rather than to Allah. Think about what that means. Khalid was so good, so consistently and possibly victorious, that his own caliph feared the Muslims would begin to worship his abilities instead of trusting in Allah. He was removed not because he failed. He was removed because he was too successful. And what did Khalid do? He accepted the order without a single word of protest. He stepped down. He served as a soldier under the new commander. He continued to fight, to serve, to sacrifice. The sword of Allah, sheathed by the hand of the Caliph, did not break, did not resist, did not demand recognition. He simply obeyed. Years later, on his deathbed, Khalid ibn al-Walid spoke his final words. I have fought in over 100 battles. There is not a spot on my body the size of a hand that has not been struck by a sword or pierced by an arrow. And yet, here I am, dying in my bed like a camel dies. May the eyes of cowards never find rest in sleep. Those were his last words. But here is what one scholar of Islam said about his death, and it stopped me completely when I first heard it. He said, the day that Muhammad called Khalid the sword of Allah, it became impossible for him to die on a battlefield, because if the sword of Allah had been broken by an enemy, what would that say about Allah? The sword of Allah could not be broken by any human hand, so it was returned by Allah in the only way a sword can be laid down with dignity, in peace. Khalid ibn al-Walid died leaving behind almost nothing in terms of worldly wealth. What he left behind was a faith defended, expanded, and protected that would go on to reach 1.5 billion people. He began as Islam's enemy. He died as Islam's sword. And the sword of Allah was never, not once, broken.